welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited. Yves is back with NAIL featuring Lolo Zouaï. Don't forget, if you want this song or any other song to end up on our Fandom Favorites Top 30 chart, make sure you check that down in the description box. Let's go ahead and get started. Ooh. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, I like that. Oh, that transition. No. Ooh, it's still going. I was like, no. Ooh. Oh, that was so cool. I really liked that. It was so funky. I think that's the thing that like stood out, is just how interesting it was to listen to, and like the different textural elements that were coming from it. I really loved the chorus like being basically a whisper, but behind everything the entire time there was like this electronic pulse and beat that was going on, especially at the very beginning. Like there was like this low bass electronic like fill in there. I don't know how else to describe it, but it was just like it like reverberated a lot, and it was really interesting to listen to. And I thought the intro was interesting because it was I was trying to listen to it. Was it Stop Taking My Danger? I thought that was interesting, because we hear that whisper in the chorus, right? That same kind of feel that we did in the intro. So I like how that was like placed throughout. It was really interesting. So I love how in the verse, the lyrics, I'm making my mind, I'm going to step it on, push that aside, but I'm gonna free up your mind. Like, I loved those lyrics, especially like the way that Yves was placing them in her voice was like seemingly going up melodically, but it just like kept coming back. It was like a circle moment every single time, which I really loved. And then the way after that in the pre-chorus, it went up into her head voice, so freaking pretty. But I love how like she put it behind a filter. You guys know, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, I love when you use like voice filters with a purpose. I think it makes things stand out a lot more when you're like paying attention to like what you're supposed to be, like what kind of sound you want to have, right? So of course, just having a voice naturally is beautiful. I love that too. But I think when there's a purpose behind it, and there's definitely a purpose here, like all of the different sound effects and everything that were going into this, there were so many like intricate and interesting like electronic sounds that happened throughout this entire song that made it like really interesting. And there were so many like clinks and things that make you think of like a nail being like punched in and that kind of thing. And so I thought that was really clever the way that that happened. And then in the chorus, I loved that whisper chorus. I think that was so cool. This kind of felt like a little creepy, but like new age kind of feel to it. And I just love that the chorus was basically just very rhythmic, and it was like, you know, stop thinking about your nail. I got better things to care. Like, I love how rhythmic it was. And then like with that, with the cool choreography, just the way, and I especially love how like, it was like forward moving choreography, because like it was felt like she did a lot of like things where it was like moving forward and like walking and things like that. I thought that was really, really interesting. And then in verse 2, there were so many harmonic elements there in the backing vocals were just like boom, which like was completely different from what we had in the first verse, because the first verse I felt like we had a little more of like that bass feel and that kind of low sound, and then the second verse was a lot more harmonic elements, especially with those backing vocals, which I really, really loved. And then what did I mean? Oh, on a couple of phrases in there at the very end, I wrote down raise it was one of them, but she did a little turn, and it was just really like a nice little melodic difference between that and the first verse. Really enjoyed that. And then the chorus the second time had this increasing in that background kind of elements, and I really like the transition with the static parts. I don't know how else to kind of describe them, but it was like a staticky part that I don't know, that like, and then it was like creepy. I don't know how else to describe that particular part, but I really, really enjoyed it. But tell me what you guys thought. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite part of the song or MV? For mine, I really, really loved the whisper in the chorus. I thought it just fit so incredibly well. And like I said, the second verse with that harmonic aspect there, pretty much like the entire song was just like a really interesting soundscape. I really, really enjoyed it. So don't forget, if you want this song or any other favorites to end up on our Fandom Favorites Top 30 chart, check that in the description box down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.